So today we are going to start exemptions. After that we will proceed to that RCM and composition scheme because my health is not that much good actually. So with respect to exemptions, even my energy levels are low, the chapter will go. But whereas with respect to RCM, it is a little bit dry area. So I need to have more focus on that. So that's why we are just proceeding with chapter number 4, but no harm in that. That means whether it is chapter number 3 or chapter number 4, both are actually not correlated. So exemptions is independent chapter, so even though the chapter number 3 was not completed, it does not impact the understanding of chapter number 4. So no issue with respect to that. So that's why can I start chapter number 4, or is it mandatory to go in the same order that is there in the material? So can I start chapter number 4, ma'am? Yes, ma'am. So exemptions. The question is here, why we need to learn about the chapter exemptions? Why we need to see the exemptions chapter in not only in CA Inter or CA Final, whatever the course it is, whatever the stage it is, why you should learn exemptions? Sorry, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. To know? Okay. Any other? Generally, supplies can be here divided into two types. One is taxable supply and second one is exempted supply. It's now 1%. So, if at all, it is a taxable supply, the rates are here two types. One are normal rates and second one are composition rates. Whereas exempted supply means nil rated supply, wholly exempt from supply, and non-taxable supply. If you observe here, what is meant by the word taxable supply in simple sense, which is not a exempted supply, it is known as taxable supply. Yes, sir. And what is meant by the word exempted supply also we discussed it previously. What is meant by nil rated supply? Levy at the rate of 0%. It is known as nil rated supply. What is meant by wholly exempted supply? Levy at a specified rate, but no collection will be there. It is known as wholly exempt supply. And third one is non-taxable supply. That means no levy at all. Like alcoholic liquor and 5 petroleum products will be covered under non-taxable supply. Whereas wholly exempted supply is the topic what we are going to discuss now. And nil rated supply, it is actually a practical issue like flowers, salt, those items. Those items are actually the rate of tax itself specified is 0. And anybody knows the difference between nil rated supply and 0 rated supply, That point also we discussed. What is the difference between nil rated supply and 0 rated supply? Nil rated also tax rate is 0. 0 rated also 0. Then what is the difference between them? Generally 0 rated supplies means what is the position? Exports and deemed exports. In order to encourage the exports, in order to give some incentives to them, a special category that is named as 0 rated supply was created. Even though there is no output tax payable, but still we can claim the ITC. Because 0 rated supplies are deemed to be taxable supplies. So if at all it is a taxable supply, what is taxable at normal rate, ITC is allowed on it. Whereas with respect to composition supply, even though it is a taxable supply, no ITC is allowed to the recipient. These are the composition rates, 1%, 5% and 1%. 1% of aggregate turnover is with respect to manufacturer. 1% of taxable turnover is with respect to trader. 5% is with respect to restaurant service. These are the composition rates. If at all you have done the articles, 5% is more familiar with you, or 1% of manufacturer. Okay, so even though you are paying the composition tax, as a supplier is paying the composition tax, why you are unable to get the ITC? Even though the chapter was not completed, okay, out of practical experience you can say it now. Why, ma? Even though it is a taxable supply, why the recipient will not get the ITC there? One person, no group activity, please. Paying low tax. That's why no ITC is there. Okay, very good. Any other answer? Somebody? Yes, ma'am. No? Administrative? Okay, fine. Any other? Yes, ma'am, please. Very good, very good. That is the answer. Recipient will not pay the composition tax at all. If at all you pays it, then only you will claim the ITC. This 1% is practical. Okay, as per the theory, it is needed to be paid out of the pocket of the supplier. This 1% or 5% should not be collected from the recipient. If at all recipient did not pay the GST, then in which way he can claim the ITC, ma? If at all you paid it, then only you can claim the ITC. With respect to composition tax, recipient is not paying any tax. Therefore, the recipient is unable to claim the ITC there. And with respect to exempted supplies, whether it is nil rated, wholly exempted, non-taxable, definitely ITC is not allowed. So that's why we need to know this particular chapter. If at all it is exempted supply, we cannot claim the ITC. So to know whether ITC is allowed or not, first of all, one should know whether the supply is a taxable one or an exempted one. If at all it is a taxable supply, obviously you can claim the ITC. If at all it is exempted supply, you cannot claim the ITC. That's why one need to know whether the supply is a taxable one or a exempted one. Okay, ma'am. So, whereas with respect to exemptions, ma'am, which section gives authority for this exemption? Section 11 under our CGST, Section 6 under our IGST will give the power to, give the exemption. So, exemption will be given in generally by way of notification. What is meant by the word notification, ma'am? Notification is nothing but a delegated authority by the legislature to the government to modify the act. Yes or no? Generally, the tax rates, whatever the tax rates and all these things has to be taken care by the legislature. But whereas, I already told you with respect to one point, what is, how to decide the GST rates, ma? That means they will be specified under the act or they will be time to time notified? Time to time notified. Okay, why the rates are not specified under CGST or IGST Act? The maximum slab rates are there in the Act, but with respect to how much tax that is needed to be levied on this particular day will not be there under the Act. Why, ma? They are actually day-to-day changing affairs. If at all they are there in the Act, it will be difficult for the government or the legislature to modify that. That's why it was delegated to government. Upon the recommendation of GST Council, the central government will decide what are the rates that are applicable. In the same way, the exemption notification will also be given by the government. So it will be done by the way of notification. So what is meant by the word notification, ma? It is a delegated authority by the legislature to the government to modify the act by using the power of this notification. So this particular section will give under CGST to give the exemption, and with respect to IGST, this is the section that will give the authority to grant exemption. General exemptions can be divided into three categories majorly: general or specific, absolute or conditional, full or partial. Exemptions can be divided into three ways: general or specific, absolute or conditional, full or partial. What is meant by this general or specific? General exemption. When the exemption is given to all, when the exemption is given to all the people, in that case, what is the position? It is called as general exemption. If at all it is given to a particular person or a particular company, it is known as exemption by special order or specific exemption. Let's say exemption was given to total software industry. It can be a general exemption. If the exemption is given to either TCS or Infosys, something like that, it is known as exemption by special order or specific one. And second one, absolute or conditional. What is the difference between these two? Absolute, without any conditions. To get that exemption, you need not satisfy any condition. Those type of exemptions are known as absolute exemptions. And conditional exemption. What is meant by this conditional exemption, ma? That means on satisfying certain conditions only, you will get the exemption. It is known as conditional exemption. For example, take the example of national flag. It is a general exemption applicable to all and absolute one. And a full exemption also. Absolute one means you need not satisfy any condition to get the exemption there. But conditional exemption, any example you know, whether you studied in CAinter or whether you learned practically, any conditional exemption, example. Majorly, say with respect to a religious place, the rent is less than or equal to 1,000, then only it is exempted. Otherwise, it is taxable. Remember that one. With respect to a religious place, room rent is less than 1,000, it is exempted. More than or equal to 1,000, full amount will be taxable, like that. You are able to remember that much. So, if there is a condition that if the room rent is this much, you will get the exemption. Otherwise, you will not get the exemption. And in the same way, another example, yes, ma'am? With respect to apartment maintenance, if at all it is less than or equal to 7,500, it is exempted per month. Apartment maintenance charges are more than 7,500, full amount will be taxable. Those are conditional ones. If the maintenance charges are of this much, you will get the exemption. Otherwise, you will not get the exemption. So this one is conditional exemption. And in the same way with respect to full or partial. Full exemption means there is no need to pay any GST. It is full exemption. What is meant by this partial exemption, ma? That means up to a certain extent, you are not liable to pay the tax. That is known as partial exemption. But here in our GST till now, there are no partial exemptions, ma. So if at all it is exempted, it is fully exempted. Otherwise, it is fully taxable. There is no concept of partial exemption was there. Just like when you were not in CAinter, when there was service tax, the concept of RCM was there. But 50-50 RCMs are also there. 50% of the tax is needed to be paid by the recipient, that is service receiver. 50% of the tax is needed to be paid by the, at that time, service provider. But there is no such concept. Here we are having 100% RCM only in our GST. But in service tax, it was like that. In the same way, exemptions are also partial. But now in our GST, there is no such concept. So practically, whereas theory, it is there. So with respect to that, full exemption means if at all there is no need to pay the GST, it is full exemption. And if at all to some extent only it was exempted, it is known as partial exemption. And this is the point. And with respect to this, explanation can also be inserted by the government whenever there is a need arises. What is meant by this explanation? What is the need of this? What is the need of this? In case of any ambiguity with respect to any exemption notification, whether exemption is applicable to this one or not, whether any modifications are there, if at all any ambiguity or confusion is there between the trade members, in that case the government will give you explanation clause. Okay, these items are included, these items are not included, like that. The question is here, say for example, on Feb 1st, we issued the exemption order. That means exemption notification. And we issued the explanatory clause or explanation for that particular exemption notification on, let's say, June 1st. From which date this particular explanation will be effective? Is it from Feb 1st or June 1st? They will have a retrospective effect. From the date when that original notification was issued, from that particular date, this explanation clause is also valid. Generally, explanation clauses will have the retrospective effect. That is the point we need to remember. Okay, ma'am. And already we discussed these things. Now we are going to enter into our topic, ma'am. Exemptions with respect to goods is not in the syllabus, ma'am. We are having exemptions with respect to services only in our syllabus. Exemptions with respect to goods is not in the syllabus. Exemptions with respect to services only is there in the syllabus. But these are the few examples with respect to goods, ma'am. Okay, even though they are not in the syllabus, just naam ke vaste. So fish, milk, whereas milk packets are taxable, ma'am. But milk is not taxable. Milk, if at all it was packaged, then it is taxable. That means Sangam dairy milk packets. But whereas whatever the milk that is actually provided by the milkman on a daily basis to us, definitely on them there will not be any GST. He brings them in the cans, na? So that's why there will not be any GST. In the same way, with respect to rice also, on some 25 kgs or 10 kgs bag, there is GST, na? But whereas if at all it is a bulk bag of 100 kgs, there will not be any GST. If you are able to recollect that point, on rice, milk, there was a tax na GST. So, but with respect to milk, if at all it is packed in retail packing, packets, then only milk is taxable. So, whatever, if you don't purchase a milk packet, you'll have one milkman actually who is providing you on a daily basis, it is not taxable. In the same way, rice, small bags, 5 kgs, 10 kgs, 25, those are taxable, ma. But whereas 100 kgs rice bag is not taxable, comes under bulk packing. Retail packing is only taxable. Bulk packing is still exempted. There is no need to pay any GST. And same point, potatoes means vegetables, grapes, nothing but fruits, in national flag, plastic bangles, I don't know why the exemption was given. So I think nowadays the people are not wearing. That's why in order to make them, no use of hiding now. Fine. So generally nowadays the people are actually not using, nobody is there, only few members, only few. Yeah, very good. Only few members are there. So that's why in order to encourage them to wear the bangles, so exemption notification was given as far as I remember. Nobody is there, na? Yeah, 1 or 2 members are there still. Okay, fine. So now just we are moving to our topic of exemptions. Initially I will start with healthcare, because today my health is not good. That's why I thought that it will be useful for me also. So with respect to healthcare services, what is meant by the word healthcare service, ma? Okay, just for that, I'm having another slide is also. With respect to exemptions, copying the notes is also useful, ma, if at all you want to do it, because so now we are discussing about healthcare services here. With respect to healthcare services, what is meant by the word healthcare service, ma, first of all? Diagnosis, treatment, care. What is diagnosis? Means first you need to identify the disease, and after that, for the disease, treatment will be there, and after that, care should be taken. That means post-hospitalization. Let's say, for example, any person has went to the cancer hospital. Let's say Omega is there in Guntur. So then if at all you're having some issue, then first what they will do, they will diagnose the particular body part which you thought that there was some cancer cell. Biopsy, it will be called as biopsy. So then body part will be actually cut and it will be sent to the lab. So then after that they will do PET. What is once the biopsy confirmed that it is a cancer, then they will do the PET, PET. PET. What is this PET is? It will scan the nothing but this is like the It will scan the total body for and for cancer cells, not for the remaining things. So that means the cancer cells actually will spread on a daily basis. On a daily basis, they will actually spread to more number of points in lakhs. So that's why they will check, okay, say for example, if any person is having one cancer, some biopsy was sent from this particular place. So what are the nearest body parts? Then they will actually, in this PET, they will see whether these particular cells are spread or not. If it was spread, then they will go for the treatment of chemo, what we will call it as. In chemo, what they will do, generally with respect to chemo, they will send some radiation-like things in our body to those parts where it was spread first. So actually, chemo is not a cancer treatment. It will initially kill the cancer cells that are spreading in the body. Once the chemos are done, then they will come to this main cell, which is actually spreading them. And for that, what they will do the surgery. That will come under treatment. And after that, the care will be radiation. Chemo is nothing but immunity booster. And what is meant by radiation? What is meant by the word radiation? Once surgery was done, some particles can be there now. By using radiation, what they will do, they will nothing but this is like a fire on a particular thing. And it will complete, మన లాంగ్వేజ్ చెప్పాలంటే కంప్లీట్గా దాన్ని కాల్చేయడం మనం జస్ట్ అంటే బాడీ పార్ట్ని ఎక్కడా కూడా బ్లాక్గా అయిపోతుంది దట్ పర్టికులర్ ఏరియా స్కిన్ విల్ బి. So that will comes under care. After that, okay, some precautions will be there. You need to follow that. It will comes under care. So initially, diagnosis. After diagnosis, treatment will be there. And after treatment, care should be taken. All these three areas will comes under healthcare services. With respect to illness, injury, pregnancy, abnormality, deformity. Illness. What is the difference between illness and injury, illness is internal, whereas injury is external. So generally external things can be dealt with them. But whereas internal ones, whether it is with respect to medical treatment or with respect to humans also, it is difficult to deal with the internal things. So internal things to deal with them, always it is a difficult task. Yes or no? So that's why illness, for illness, all these things are needed. With respect to injury, definitely you can see, okay, this one, and you can go for that one, treatment like that. Okay, and okay, third one, and abnormality, deformity. What is the difference between these two, Abnormality, deformity. What is the meaning of? Yes, ma'am. Okay, psychological. Okay, deformity. Generally, abnormality means abnormal child. Generally, we'll call them as. Abnormal means hypersensitive or some hyperactive. That means they will have some psychological disorders. Those people will come under abnormality generally. And deformity is actually with respect to physical, like handicapped. What is the word now we are using it for? Special challenged person. No, that actually the handicapped words was now prohibited. Instead of that, the government asked her to use one word. Physically challenged. No. Some special word is there, those. Specially abled. Yes. Specially abled persons. Disabled word kaadu. Specially abled persons. That is the word. The government asks us everybody to use now. Previously, we are using the word physically handicapped or physically disabled persons, handicapped person like that. But now those words are needed to be replaced by specially able persons. So that those are the persons will be covered under deformity. So with respect to them, any medical treatment was done, definitely it will be exempted. The question is here, sir, every medical system in India is exempted? Answer is no, ma. If at all that medicine, the system of medicine is recognized in India, then only it is exempted. If at all the medicine of that particular system of medicine is recognized in India, then only it is exempted. Otherwise it is taxable. Sir, what are the recognized system of medicines in India? allopathy, English medicine, and Ayurveda, naturopathy, yoga, siddha, Unani, homeopathy. Yoga, okay. Unani is nothing but traditional methods, vanamulikalu, etc. Then herbal treatment. Okay. With respect to homeopathy, already we know. These are the recognized systems. And there are some other systems which are also actually popular but not recognized by the government. There are so many unrecognized systems out there, but I have taken only few which are more popular. First one is acupuncture. What is this acupuncture? Needles. Generally, it is very popular for back pain. Very popular for back pain. Back pain ki, it was a very effective one. In AP, Tirupati, I think, and with Kerala, it is more famous, na? Respect to Kerala, I think so. Kerala is most popular for acupuncture, na? Yes, so with respect to that one is not a recognized system of medicine, ma. Definitely, what is the position? It is taxable. Same way, urine therapy, gomutra. I mean, some sulfur or something will be there in that. So if we use it, cure so and so diseases. So many, we can't call it as rumor. So, okay, some propaganda is there. Whether it is true or not, I don't know. But sulfur is there in that urine. But whereas whether it cure everything or not, we don't know. That's why it is also a unrecognized system. And color therapy. We'll call it, what we will call this color therapy, just we close the eyes. If black was there, if you're able to see, then your mind is not actually good. Some red is there, that is also not good. But what is the color we need to see, ma? Blue is the color. If at all you are normal radium color. No, I think white, na. If at all you are something, I can't remember exactly, but if at all you close the eyes, some red color is displayed in front of you or not in a good mood. But every time actually close it, actually only red will be there. I don't know whether I'm in a good mood or not on an everyday basis. Okay. No, what is the color? Stars are there. No, black. Black means blank. So actually blank means they're generally blank. The people are not thinking about anything at that time. They just want to close the eyes and that's it. But whereas I think sir, white or blue, I don't know, rememberly. Green, huh? Okay, green. Okay, green. Yeah. No, green is there. No, red. Red is there. Okay, fine. So with respect, that one comes under color therapy, ma'am. It is also unrecognized. Definitely it is taxable. Black and white, yeah? Yeah. So that one is very good, ma'am. So you are in the what? You are in actually the middle of the thought, actually, in that case, Misongo. Fine. And next one is Reiki healing. That is, this is called pranic healing, ma'am. And just like what I can say, you will gather the energy from the nature, ma'am. Just like my favorite cartoon is Dragon Ball Z. In that, the hero name is Goku. Chinnapudi, it was my favorite. Still, I am seeing it. Actually, when the time comes, I think it was there in Joro TV. Joro TV, na? I think in the website. All the series are there. Whenever all the series are there, whenever time is, still I am watching it. Generally on Saturdays. So, with respect that in that particular Dragon Ball Z, Goku is a hero character. He is a super saint. He will gather the power from the nature. So just like pranic healing is also like that only. Pranic healing is also just like that. That means there will be some live shows on the TV. It is Ambak, but what is it was there on the live TV. Okay, if you tell him a problem, he will actually do some acts in the air and he will say, now your problem is going to be solved. Now it was solved. The people say, yes, it was solved. I don't know in which way the problem was solved there. But that one comes under Reiki healing. Okay, definitely that one will be taxable. And gemstones and Rudraksha therapy. Generally with respect to Rudraksha, 5-mukhi, if at all you are able to wear, some medical properties are there for Rudrakshas. I don't know with respect to gemstones, whether they are not. But with respect to Rudrakshas, generally there is some medical values, they are proved. With respect to BP, blood pressure, and if you are having the short-tempered nature, definitely in that case, it is advisable to wear some 5-mukhi. Generally, I will wear 5-mukhi. So with respect to that, because I'm a little bit short-tempered person. So in order to make me cool, generally, so some medical properties will be there, generally with respect to that. So, and with respect to some migraine problem, Migraine is nowadays the students are facing, especially girls. Fine, with respect to them, in homeo there is a medicine the people are telling, but in English there are only painkillers. These people are saying that, okay, we will make a crown of some 5 mukhi. I can't remember the mukhis exactly. They will make a crown of it, and if at all you are able to wear it for some 41 days, one sahasra chakra or something, that will be there here. The chakra, the total 7. In that one chakra is there, it starts with asma, it will be there here, and that particular chakra's blockage will be removed, and thereby the migraine problem will be solved. What they are saying, I don't know whether it is true or not. Okay, then that one comes under Rudraksha therapy. It is also not a recognized system. It is also not a recognized system. Therefore, definitely it is also taxable. And most popular one in AP, Anandaya Mandu, Corona, Nellur. At that time, it is most popular, na? Whether COVID, whether anybody has taken that one, is it worked actually? That means after getting that, this solved the issue. This medicine, anybody has, okay, no idea? Any of your relatives or something has taken and recovered from COVID because of this? You don't know about them? Okay, fine. So that's why government said that it is not a recognized system of medicine. Actually, it was a debatable issue at the time. That samples were sent to the government, and government said that no, it is not a medicine at all. We will not recognize it as a medicine. Yes or no, ma? So that one comes under unrecognized system of medicine. If Mr. Anandaya has taken any consideration, then definitely it is taxable to GST. But I think he has given free of cost, na? So that's why there is no GST. Because no consideration, it is not covered under 7(1)(a). If at all Anandaya has taken any consideration from the people, it comes under unrecognized system of medicine, definitely GST is leviable. And my doubt is here, what about this cosmetic and plastic surgeries? It depends upon facts of the case. For the sake of beautification, taxable. As a part of medical treatment, definitely it is exempted. For the sake of beautification, so many heroes, heroines will undergo a number of plastic surgeries because they are a part of glamour world. As a part of profession, they need to undergo them. So as part of profession also, but still it is a taxable one. But whereas medical treatment, due to some fire accident, the body was born, in that case, definitely some plastic surgery is needed, just like in the movie Yavadu. In the movie known as Yavadu. In that particular movie, Ram Charan, no. Allu Arjun will be converted to Ram Charan. In that case, it is a part of medical treatment. Therefore, Dr. Jesuda is not liable to pay any GST because it was exempted. Otherwise, Dr. Jesuda is liable to pay the GST there. Because it was done as a part of medical treatment in that movie. So, is it exempted or taxable, Madan? Definitely it is exempted. So, any cosmetic and plastic surgeries that were done as a part of medical treatment, it was exempted. If at all it was done for the sake of beautification, definitely it is taxable or exempted, ma? Definitely it is taxable. In the same way, okay, with respect to one circular, okay, very good. With respect to one circular that was issued, generally in the second wave, already told you that, just admitted in a hospital, that is known as 3 hospitals in Guntur. At that time, actually, I need to stay there from some 15 to 20 days. Okay, let us assume that they charged me some 9 lakhs, for example. So, so in that case, food is also included. Because at the time of COVID, generally, with respect to remaining diseases, people can carry the food. But whereas with respect to that particular one, nobody will be there, na? So at that time, many hospitals provided food to the patients. The question arises there, whether that food, let's take the example, 7 lakhs is medicines or something. What is that 7 lakhs, man? Nothing but paracetamol. Oh, bleaching powder is not eaten by us, okay. Generally the paracetamol and some steroids, mother, nothing but steroids. Generally, they are not for COVID exclusively. Some steroids are there, some 20 or 40,000 medicine is there. I can't remember the name exactly. Actually, some injection. Some Yes, yes, sir. Generally, it is not for COVID. No? It is actually blend of paracetamol actually. And that one and some antibiotics. Actually, antibiotic is not suitable for COVID. COVID is actually not a bacteria. So antibiotic will not work out. But okay, they will use everything on a trial and error method until your body cooperates. So that is the way how the treatment was done at that time. So for trial and error method, they will charge you some 7 lakhs. Okay, along with that, 2 lakhs is for food. The question arises here, whether on these 9 lakhs are we liable to pay any GST? Sorry, on this 9 or only on 7 or on 9, there is no need to pay GST. The question is here, this 2 lakhs which is charged towards the food, is it exempted or taxable? I'm the patient now there. Then it is exempted. That means apart from patient, who will eat for 2 lakhs there? So generally, if at all it was done as a part of treatment, it was given to the patient, prescribed by the doctors. In fact, the food is also good. Okay. Okay. At that time. So that is the only disease where you can eat more. Eat more, stay healthy is the COVID actually rule at that time. So these food items that are provided at the time of COVID comes under composite supply. It will comes under composite supply. Do you remember the composite supply concept, ma? If at all it is a natural bundle, it is a composite supply. Food is a natural bundle in that case. Definitely it is a composite supply. What is the principal supply there? Healthcare. Therefore, what is the rate that is applicable to principal supply will be applicable to total bundle. Healthcare is already exempted. Therefore, food is also exempted. That is the logic. But whereas sometimes, except the COVID, with respect to any other disease, helpers or attendants will be there. Na? For them, any food is provided by the hospital. And for them, anything is charged. Definitely it is taxable. Same point will be applicable. Yes, ma'am. Part of employment means? No. Along with the patient, the relatives who came to that particular hospital, with them definitely it is taxable. And in the same way with respect to visitors, generally what the visitors will do more generally, instead of bringing us apples, they will eat the apples which is at that in that particular table. Generally they need to bring some apples not to us. Instead of that, some friends, especially friends, what the friends will do, okay, if at all we are actually not that much good and we are admitted in hospital, they will come to see us. What they will say, ma? Fine. This is the way how they actually console us, actually. In the same way, what is the apple that is there or juice that is there? So I'm a little bit thirsty, so I'm actually drinking it. Those visitors will be there. Those rascals, who are the friends, generally we will call them. Those people will be there. So the question arises, say, any visitors has ate something in the canteen with respect to the hospital, whether it is taxable or exempted. Definitely it is taxable. Actually, I just some 2 months back, just went to Ramesh Hospital, Smart Guntur. One of our relatives was admitted there. I just went some 1 or 1:30, I can't remember exactly time. At that time, the doctor was on rounds. That means seeing the patients. Rounds means here. So don't misunderstand with our rounds generally. So that's why nobody was admitted there. So nobody was allowed to go there. So I just went to the canteen, which is there in the first floor. The canteen was there in the first floor in Ramesh Hospitals. Being 1 o'clock, that's why I was a little bit actually hungry at that time, not a little bit more, being a foodie. So at that time, I just actually ate some 2 chapatis or something like that. And after that, many meals are there, just want to taste it. That one also completed. After that, banana byjus are there. Actually, they are very hot at the time. I had some plate or something. After some bread halwa, something sweet is there. I can't remember exactly that one also. Eating after that much, I got a fear that definitely heat will be generated in my body. That's some lassi. There ends testing of the food that is there in this Ramesh Hospital canteen. And if at all, is there any GST that is leviable on that? Yes, ma, because that particular canteen is run by Ramesh Hospital, ma. But still, food provided to patients is only exempted. If at all the canteen was outsourced to somebody else, that was there at Lalita Super Specialty Hospital in Guntur, whereas in Ramesh Hospitals, the canteen was run by the hospital itself. But whereas in Lalita super specialty, which is there for cardiology and neurology in Guntur, which is famous, a canteen was outsourced. In that case, is it taxable or exempted? Taxable. Even the canteen run by the hospital itself is taxable. If at all it was given on outsourcing basis, here it is purely a canteen service. Definitely it is taxable and hospital will not get the ITC. If any food was purchased from that particular canteen by this hospital is liable to pay the GST, but in return, hospital is unable to claim the ITC. Why, ma? Because outward supply is exempted. Yes or no? What is the service that is provided by the hospital, ma? Healthcare service. Is it exempted or taxable? Exempted. In that case, what is the inward supply here? Food. That inward supply food, even though hospital is able to pay the GST, it is unable to claim the ITC there, ma, because their outward supplies are exempted. If outsourced by the hospital, supplier to charge GST to the hospital, and hospital will not get ITC as outward supply is exempt. This is the point you need to remember with respect to healthcare services, ma. I think this slide, okay, another point is there, I will tell you. So who will do these healthcare services, ma? Clinical establishments, authorized medical practitioners, and paramedics will do these healthcare services. We know what is meant by clinical establishment, hospitals, nursing homes, something like that. So, in that case, okay. So, what is meant by this authorized medical practitioner, ma? Authorized medical practitioner, what is meant by that? Doctors are covered under clinical establishments. RMP. It's not RMP, ma. So, generally, these people will have the prescribed experience, prescribed knowledge of that Indian doctor, but will not get the approval from Indian Medical Council. Foreign doctors, that means China MBBS, Ukraine MBBS, the people will study outside the country, na? Those type of people will be covered under authorized medical practitioners. And what is meant by this paramedics? Apart from nurses, which is there on the screen. What boy gadu? Paramedics means, what is meant by this paramedics, ma? Pre-hospitalization or post-hospitalization service providers. Pre-hospitalization, like lab technicians, blood tests, urine tests, like that they will do, na? Those people will be paramedics. In the same way, during hospitalization, nurses. And post-hospitalizations, like say for example, when we seriously met with an accident, and we was there on the bed for some 2 months or something like that. After that, one people will come to our home to do circus feet with our leg. He will ask, is there any pain? Is there any pain? He will stretch our leg at that time. So definitely there will be a pain for us, but he will say, is there? So that fellow, what is the name of that fellow, ma? Physiotherapist. Post-hospitalization. Those people also will come under paramedics. So these paramedics will do healthcare services. So what about the ambulance services, ma'am? Are they exempted or taxable? Ambulance services, it includes air ambulance also. Air ambulance means helicopters. In Hyderabad, there are two, ma'am. Air ambulances will be there where time is so much precious. At that time, say for example, body parts are needed to be changed. It should be done within hours. Now, in that case, they will use the air ambulance there. So, air ambulance is also exempted. My question is here, ambulance services will be provided by two category of people. One is the ambulance services that are provided by the hospitals. And second one is exclusively they will run the ambulance. Which one is exempt? One is ambulance run by hospital. Second one is ambulances run by third private parties, not of hospitals. Which are exempted? Which type of ambulances are exempted? Both. Both are actually exempted, whether it is run by the hospital or third parties. Both are actually exempted. And same point will be applicable to, actually, with respect to you, these are actually removed, ma. When I prepared the PPT, it was there, but recently, some 1 week back, 1 week or 5 days back, ICA released the updates, ma. So huge number of updates are there in that. So that's why I just want to incorporate everything. So I start with exemption. That's this one was removed, and this one is also removed. It was not there now. So exemptions were removed. That is a good news for you. So it was not there. So those two are not stem cells. I will explain you later on what is that. So next point is with respect to that, veterinary doctors. So whatever the services that are provided by veterinary hospitals or veterinary doctors is also exempt. And previously the concept of stem cell storage banks were exempted. What is the stem cells means? When the baby is there in the mother womb, there will be a connecting tube between the baby and the mother. Once the delivery is over, it will be actually cut and it will be stored in minus 190 degrees centigrade. Why, ma? Because any genetic diseases are there. In order to cure those genetic diseases, these stem cells are actually injected in the body of the person who is suffering with genetic disease. Thereby, it can cure the genetic disease. Best example for this, somebody will say even cancer is also. Cancer is also genetic. Further, that's fine. But how far it is genetic, it will be decided by your body DNA. For that also, there is a test to see whether it is genetic or not cancer. Generally, if at all cancer is there to a mother, definitely it will come to the daughter. Not to the son, but it will come to the daughter. Almost there is every possibility. So that's why genetic diseases. Oh yeah, cancer is a genetic one, ma. But how much genetic it will be depends upon the mother body's DNA. That's why they will do the just like DNA test to the mother who is suffering with cancer. That particular test will decide. Let's say, for example, my mother-in-law is actually tested for cancer. That's why I know all these things, because I have taken her to hospital almost on a daily basis. Still, she's under actually cure at my home only. So that's why I know this. So that particular genetic test will have almost some 55%. It's shown us. That means there is a probability that 55% her daughter will have the cancer. That is the thing. That is the way how the things will be there. So this one comes under genetic. If at all any person, in those days there is no concept of the stem cell storage banks. If at all stem cell storage banks were there, then we can inject these stem cells into that particular daughter's body. Thereby we can cure the genetic problem that is there. Previously it was exempted, but from next attempt onwards, this exemption was no more. Now they are taxable. Previously it was exempted. Previously it was exempted, but 5 days before in the statutory updates, what ICS actually in the statutory updates, it was given that the exemption was withdrawn with respect to stem cells. That means now it is 100% taxable. That is the point. So there is a possibility that it can be asked for your attempt only. For next attempt onwards, it is no more. Stem cells is now taxable. But whereas when we prepared the material also, this notification was not there. So that's why whenever this particular point comes, we need to update it. Please keep it on that point. And next one is transportation of patients. Okay. And rehabilitation, therapy and counseling. Nowadays, stress, the major problem, actually, the people, when I just went to these hospitals, even some 25 years, 30 years, 35, 40, irrespective of the age, the people are getting the diseases. Okay, cancer, okay, we can't say that, but with respect to heart attack also, even the people are at the age of some 20, 22 are getting the heart attacks because of stress nowadays. Because now we are there in a world that it is more, not only competitive, on everyday basis you need to assess yourself. Day basis, sometimes hour basis also. Otherwise, everybody will have a feeling that, okay, if at all I don't run that much faster, I will be left behind the race. Nobody knows how far this particular race will end actually. So for example, when I started my life journey at the age of 21, My family monthly income is 1850 rupees. 1850. My wife's salary is the only thing for me at the time because I'm there in cainter only articles. Okay. So because of that, so that was income. At the time, I have a dream that, okay, 5 number digit is okay. Once actually, after few days or few months, I just joined as a financial manager in a listed company. I got there the number in 5 digits before qualifying CA. Okay. And at that time, okay, I thought that 6 number is actually sufficient for me. So after that, I just got the certificate and got the 6 number also. Then I just actually moved to number 7 then. Because there is a race every time, we need to fight. But even sometimes also I felt that, okay, when particularly my life was started, 1850 is nowadays actually 1 hour actually, not 1 hour, actually it is a fraction of 5 minutes expenditure now in today's world. So that's why everybody at that time, even also I'm having a diary with me. It happened in some 2005, okay, sorry, 2006 I was there in articles at the time. So I'm maintaining a blank diary at that time. In that time I wrote the expenses with respect to the child actually. Okay, at that time I thought that 5 lakhs is sufficient for her study. At that time. But now actually her schooling is actually costing me more than that. So those are the days. Now we need to actually fight and run every day because of that more stress. Everybody is putting on their head, actually getting them so many diseases. Even I'm also having some issues because after some whatever the issues I have faced in the previous scenario, based on that I just make my mind to run hard. But making that much hard actually make me sick in the age of before getting the 40 itself. I got some issues with respect to the heart. I got some issues with respect to the liver. All these things are there only because of stress, not because of habits. Even in my neck, actually L3, L5 are actually 2 nerves will be there. అవేమని అంటే జస్ట్ యాక్చువల్లీ ఎంఆర్ఐ అంటారు దీన్ని. సో ఎంఆర్ఐ చేసినప్పుడు అరిగిపోయినాయి ఇలా బికాస్ ఆఫ్ స్ట్రెస్ జనరల్ వి థాట్ ఓకే ఇట్లా ఆలోచించుకుంటూ ఉంటాం కదా ఎట్ దట్ టైమ్. సో దోస్ ఆర్ ద ఇష్యూస్ నవ్ డేస్ మా. For them, there is a counseling now. In future, psychology will play a very crucial role. Even children also, even if we don't get the good marks, they will be little bit dull. Not a little bit dull. Almost with respect to my daughter, I need to take the counseling of what is called impact. In masterminds also, he will give some motivational speeches. Starts with the Gampa. Yes, actually, I need to, because what is the problem in school, actually, she missed a rank. So after that, she felt very bad that she thought that she is unable to do anything. She's not eating anything. She's not talking with any of the friends and all these things. Okay, she's actually a little bit close to me. That's why I observed that there is a change in her. Okay, one day I asked, okay, what is the issue? She told me all these things and cried. At that time, I need to start to Gampagaru regarding the issue for a span of some 1 month or something like that. Every day I will make a call to him and give it to my daughter. Okay, I thought she's fine. I need to continue that. So nowadays, the people are actually having that much of stress from the childhood itself. That is the issue. That's why these therapies and these things, these counseling are much more needed, and definitely they will be there. Therefore, all these services are exempted. There is no need to pay any GST on them. Okay, this is with respect to healthcare, ma. Anybody wants to copy it, you can copy it, ma. I will wait for a few minutes. If it all is, what is the matter that is there in the material, that is okay. Material order will be different from the classroom order, ma. So this is a healthcare sector, what we are talking about. And you can copy them. Stem cells is not there in the order. First one, veterinary clinic. Second one, clinical establishment. Third one, ambulance service. And 2 points are removed. Okay. And another point, this is clinical biomedical waste that was removed. What is this point? The common biomedical waste. When you met with an accident, generally what they will do, my doctors will do some bandage like thing. So once bandage waste in tarvata, we are after 1 month or 2 months, Definitely, you can't actually remove it by your hand. Some saw will be there, which is in round shape. We need to cut it, that one. That one comes under common biomedical waste. Its recycling activities are exempted previously, but now they are taxable. That was exemption that was withdrawn from next attempt onwards. Please copy that one now. No, ma. Medicines taxable. Ma munched out. With respect to ma, medical shops, whatever the sale of medicines that will be done by these medical shops is taxable because it is not a healthcare service. As a part of medical treatment, whatever the medicines that are consumed at the hospital, they are only exempted. When the medicines are sold, then definitely it is taxable. Sale of medicines by medical shops is taxable. Any other? Okay, ma? Yes, ma, please. With respect to hospital, no ITC, ma. She's asking me regarding the medical shops. Hospital, I cannot get the ITC. Hmm. That means acupuncture, let's say for example, it is taxable. Definitely can get the ITC then. Whatever the medical items you will purchase, definitely can claim ITC on that. No issue. Any other, ma? Any other doubt, ma, with respect to healthcare services? And this is the circular, what we have discussed actually. So, food supplied to a patient as advised by the doctor, composite supply exempt. Otherwise, it is a separate one, taxable. Attendant or visitor, any reason, definitely it is a separate supply, taxable. All these are the points. This one is the circular, ma, that was issued at the COVID time. Yes, ma? Any doubt? Okay. Previous slide copying completed, ma? Okay, what is that in this? Is it completed, ma? Okay, okay. Ma, is it completed, ma? they're always fully taxable. Unless otherwise law specifies, once the amount exceeds, it is always fully taxable. Yes, ma'am? Any issue? What happened, ma'am? Any issue? Any help is needed from my side? Okay, ma'am, please make it fast. After that, we'll move to the next exemption. Not every exemption is this much big, ma'am. Whenever these big ones are there, they are the most important ones. Healthcare, education, something, road transport, like that. Those are some points are there which are single line ones. They are less important. There is no concept of unimportant will be there, less important. There is a little possibility that they will be asked in the exam. Okay, ma'am? Can I move to the... okay, fine. Using highlighters also. Very good. What about your friends, ma? 2 monkeys will be there, na? What about those 2 monkeys? Not coming? Today only. One monkey was splitted from the group. Okay, ma'am. Fine. So I'm moving to the next one then. So the next point will be the charitable activities. Whatever the charitable activities that are done by the trust are exempted. Not all the activities, ma'am. So whatever the charitable activities that are done by the trust are exempted. Not every activity done by the trust is exempted, ma'am. Whatever the charitable activities that are done by the trust are exempt. What is meant by this point, ma'am? Already told you an example with respect to that. So whatever the things that are done out of charity, that means without any consideration by trust, it will be exempted, like giving some donations to the poor people or giving food, rice or something like that. But I told you one example with respect to this. When you go to a pilgrimage, not of my favorite one, but general pilgrimage if you go to, like Sri Salem, Tirupati in our AP, there will be some religious insma, satram, we will call them as in Telugu. To that particular community, you can stay in that particular inn. For that, you need to pay nominal amount of some 1,000 or 500 per day, something like that. Here, trustee is not doing the charity, na? It is collecting some consideration. Those things are taxable. In the same way, with respect to religious hostels will also be there, na? Community hostels. For them, nominally, they will charge something, na? So definitely them also taxable. What the thing that was exempted is, here, whatever the charitable activities that are done by the trust. So with charity, without consideration, with love and affection, what is the thing that will be done? Those things are only exempted. That is the point you need to remember with respect to charity, ma'am. Okay. So the next point will be, okay, after that I will provide you the notes for that. In this particular one, only images will be there. And here the point will be, what is this point, ma? The process of conducting a religious ceremony is exempt. The process of conducting a religious ceremony is exempt. But before activities are taxable. Because his life is going to spoil, that's why we will want to know everybody that one. Wedding cards will be printed, that is taxable. And in the same way, definitely being a lost smile on his face, photography will be there, that is also taxable. Last time he will eat the tasty food, for that catering will be given, that is also taxable. okay, being a, what we can say, in his life, lost sparkles there. That's why lighting was there, because after that everything will be dark for him. So that's why lighting was there to that particular mandap. So all these things are definitely, what is the position, ma? Taxable. Sir, what is the thing that was exempted then? The process of conducting a religious ceremony, like priest, whatever the things that will be done by the priest, those are only exempted. Same point will be there with respect to Ganga Harati, religious ceremony. That one is also definitely exempted. So the process of conducting a religious ceremony is exempt. There is no need to pay any GST. That is the point you need to remember. And in the same way, what is this? TTD. Tirumala Tirupati Devasthana. With respect to that, any rooms are there. Those room rent is less than 1,000 rupees per day, it is exempted. With respect to any religious place, rooms are given on a rental basis. Definitely, what is the position, ma? It is exempt. Up to which extent, ma? If at all the room rent is less than 1,000, it is exempted. More than that, full amount will be taxable. Like Ram Bagicha. VVIPs will be there. Definitely, the rent is 2,000, 3,000 will be like that. General rooms will be 50, 100 like that only, na? But in Ram Bagicha, definitely the room rents are much more, ma. Only celebrities, VIPs will be, generally those accommodations are not given that much easily. 2,000, 3,000, they will collect. Those things are definitely taxable. And in the same way, this one, Mandap Keeper Services, Kalyana Mandapal in our Telugu. With respect to every religious place, there will be a convention center, ma. With respect to that particular convention center, if the rent is less than 10,000 per day, it is exempted. With respect to that convention center, the rent is less than 10,000 per day, it is exempted. More than that, full amount will be taxable. Same point will be applicable to shops also. With respect to a religious place, shops will be there, na? Selling puja items and God pictures and all these things will be there, na? So with respect to that shop, if the rent is less than 10,000 per month, it is exempted. With respect to a religious place, rooms are given on a rental basis. The room rent is less than 1,000, it is exempted. Only religious places we are talking about here. And whereas with respect to Mandap Keeper Services, what is the position, ma? Definitely per day rent is less than 10,000, it is exempted. With respect to a shop, ma? If the rent is less than 10,000 per month, it is exempted. Less than, not less than or equal to. If at all it is 10,000, 1,000, then definitely full amount will be taxable. Unless otherwise specified. Once the limit exceeds, automatically full amount will be taxable. That is the point you need to remember, ma. Unless the Act specifies otherwise, if the Act remains silent, then this particular limit exceeds, automatically full amount will be taxable. That is the point. Okay, ma? So with respect to religious place, room rent is less than 1,000, it is exempted. With respect to Mandap Keeper Services, less than 10,000, it is exempted. With respect to shops, less than 10,000 per month, it is exempted. Next one will be what is this? Amarnath Yatra, Manas Sarovar Yatra. Generally, Uttarakhand state government will provide services with respect to this. So whatever the services that are provided by Uttarakhand state government in relation to Manas Sarovar Yatra is exempt. There is no need to pay any GST. So the services that are provided by Uttarakhand state government, the services that are provided by Uttarakhand state government in relation to pilgrimage of Manas Sarovar, definitely it is exempted. There is no need to pay the GST. Fine. So the next one will be, it was removed, now it is no more. Hajj committee. Do you remember Hajj committee services, ma? Generally in Muslim community, there will be a belief that at least once in a lifetime they need to visit Makkah, Medina. but being expensive one, there was some committees that are known as Hus committees in them. They will select the poor people from them and prepare a statement and will send the statement to the government. Now the government on a lottery basis will send few people to Makkah on a subsidy basis. But now this exemption is no more, it was removed. And next one will be, whatever the services, training or coaching services in relation to sports, music, painting, definitely they are exempted. Their coaching or training services are exempted. Recreational activities like sports, music, painting, with respect to them, whatever the coaching or training activities that will be there, they are exempted. What about martial arts, ma? Martial arts, is it exempted or taxable? Taxable. Martial arts is exempted or taxable? Martial arts is exempted, ma. Is the wrong answer. Because martial arts comes under self-defense. It is not a recreational activity. Generally, we will use against the husbands, na? So that's why definitely what is the position, ma? It comes under self-defense. Generally, it will come under self-defense, ma. It is not a recreation. It is a recreation to you, people. But whereas with respect to other people, they need to learn it for self-defense. Yes or no, ma? Because you will use the weapons like apadal current, all these things, na? So definitely it is much more needed for the people. So just like nunchuck, you just sorry, so you will use the apadal current. Fine, in our Telugu. Fine. Okay, those are the secrets of the families. Generally, we will not reveal it to the outside people. Okay, so let's come to the next point, ma. What about cooking classes? Actually, that are more needed than karate classes for you. Cooking classes that are much more needed now for you, because many of you don't know cooking, na? Know the cooking. How many of you know cooking, ma? How many of you help your mothers in the kitchen? Wow. No, okay, what about cooking classes, whether it is exempted or taxable? Because it is not a recreational activity, it is a punishment activity to the people who will eat it. So that's why it is not a recreational activity, ma. Definitely it is also taxable. So whatever the recreational activities that are there, like sports, music, painting, those are only exempted, ma. Their coaching or training classes are exempted. In the same way, skill development programs that are conducted with NSDC, National Skill Development Corporation, or SSC. SSC means Sector Skill Council. Definitely it is exempted, ma. What is meant by this skill development programs, ma? I think when you were in your childhood days, those were the days. In those days, there will be one advertisement. Actually, Telugulo the advertisement will be Sarpanch garu ఇప్పటికిప్పుడు ఇంగ్లీష్ మాట్లాడే వాళ్ళు ఎక్కడి నుంచి వస్తారు అనగానే ఒక షార్ట్ గా వచ్చి డోంట్ జడ్జ్ ద బుక్ బై ఇట్స్ కవర్ అనగానే రిన్ అకాడమీ యాడ్ విల్ బి దేర్. At the childhood, you don't have the much. What is the link between that particular advertisement and ring soap? Now you got a better idea. What is the link between that ad and ring company, ma? 3 subjects are linked to that advertisement. 3 subjects. That means in your CA inter or CA final, 3 subjects are actually relevant to that advertisement. Yeah, anybody can tell me? First one is CSR in your law, corporate social responsibility. You need to incur that expenditure. Second one is your income tax, section 35 CCD, I think so. 35 triple C is with respect to agricultural extension, and 35 double CD is for the skill development deduction. PGBP, ma, profits or gains from business or profession. In the 35 CCD, na, the section number Skill development relevant 35, yeah, as far as I remember, 35 triple C agriculture extension and 35 CCD is with respect to skill development. So there you can previously, when that advertisement was there, you can claim 150% weighted deduction. If you incur 100 rupees as expenditure, you can book 150 rupees as expenditure in P&L account. That is called 150% weighted deduction. When that advertisement was there, the RIN Academy will get whatever the advertisement expenditure that is incurred by it, let's say some 10 lakhs. Now it can claim 15 lakhs in its P&L account as expenditure. That is 150% weighted deduction. That if I double CD. But now later on it was reduced to 100% now, as far as I remember. Okay, fine. So with respect to 35 double CD. And now the third subject is our GST. So whatever the programs that are conducted by the RIN Academy in association with this NSDC, these skill development programs like self-employment skills, how to face the interview, how to develop the communication skills, embroidery works, cell phone repair, TV repair, hardware repairs, all these things. Those things comes under skill development programs. Those are exempted. There is no need to pay any GST. One of the most popular scheme is DDU-GKY. Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Kaushalya Yojana. In Bradipet, there is an office, I think near Annamaya Hostel, something is there with respect to girls. Near that particular place, there is the office of this DDU-GKY. That's why you may sort some t-shirts with this logo in Bradipet. So that's why DDU-GKY is the most popular scheme where you can get that exemption. And next one will be the services that are provided by news collection agencies like PTI, Press Trust of India, is exempt, because all these news collection agencies will work on service motive, providing information to the public. Yes, now let's say for example, it's some 3:30 or something like that, Mr. Putin has made a statement that whatever, he will not withdraw from the war and he will continue the war until he gets a victory. That's why in the last minute, there was a sharp fall of the markets. When I was there in the class, I just received a message that Mr. Putin said that, so whatever the things he will, that are required him to do, he will do all those things to get the victory on Ukraine. And at the same time, the European countries promised Ukraine that out of their own budget, they will provide you the weapons. Two different statements definitely make it clear that the war is going to continue. So we know this information, why ma? Because of these people. While I'm sitting in the class itself, I got the information that yes, this is going to happen. I got this information because of this PTA, Press Trust of India. Like so many organizations are there. News collection agencies, we will call them as. BBCs also. Apart from channel, they will have the news collection agencies. Those news collection agencies will run on service motive. That's why whatever the services that are provided by these news collection agencies are exempt, definitely there is no need to pay any GST. That is the point we need to remember. Yes, ma'am? Fine. In the same way, now it was removed. It was no more. Happy. With respect to hotels, inns, guest house, clubs and campsites, previously there was exemption up to 1,000. But now it is no more. The exemption was withdrawn. It is taxable. There is no exemption now, ma, with respect to hotel, inn, guest house, club, campsite or other commercial places. What is the position, ma? Definitely it is taxable now. Previously it was exempted up to 1,000, but now the exemption was withdrawn. Okay, ma. Fine. And with respect to insurance, with respect to few insurance services, ma, like this is general insurance, house insurance, something like that, ma. Generally, those people will irritate us like that, na. That's why it's a symbol of that. They just put that animation there. With respect to few general insurance schemes, the list was actually provided there. So, like majority cases, these general insurances will be in relation to agriculture, ma, like hut insurance, crop-like insurance, all these things, all these general general insurance services, specific ones are exempted. more or in relation to agriculture, they are exempted. Same point will be applicable to life insurance also. Same points will be applicable to life insurance also. Some life insurance, micro insurance policies will be there now with respect to some 50,000 maturity money, like that. Even your income tax also they are there. Micro insurance policies, we will call them. Definitely they are exempted. There is no need to pay any GST. In the same way, so few life insurance services, few general insurance services are exempted. There is no need to pay any GST. In the same way, this one is incubator, incubating. What is meant by the word incubating, ma? What is meant by the word incubator? That one is not, ma. When the baby was born, they will put it in the incubator. Yeah, I know. The people will say same type of answers. So even after seeing this image also got that idea. So here some people will have the ideas, but they may not have the capital. But previously it was a difficult task to start a company without a capital. But nowadays, if at all you are having the idea, which can be commercially successful, definitely there are so many people now to help you. One type is venture capitalist. So in the same way, crowdfunding is also there nowadays. All these people, generally the movie in Telugu, Chitralahari is the movie name in our Telugu. In that hero will develop an app. Generally, whenever an accident happens to the dear and near, there will be SMS that will be sent. For that, he will do some PPTs and show to the corporates. The corporates which will help that particular person is known as incubator. The person who is receiving the financial assistance is known as incubating. The person who is providing the financial assistance is known as incubator. The person who is receiving the financial assistance is known as incubating. After that, they will be called as startup companies after some journey. Initially, they will be called as incubators only. Nowadays, even crowdfunding is also there. What is the first Telugu movie that was done by using crowdfunding? Telugu movie, which was done by using crowdfunding. Pesarattu. Yeah, the movie Madipindi, evarki teliyadu adi. So, and it was directed by Katti Mahesh. Chanipayad Chusera. That fellow is actually a very good person until he joined the politics. He's a brilliant person, scholar, baga chadukunna vyakti. But whereas later on, when he just come to the politics, definitely those things will happen later on. That is different story. But he's the first person by using the crowdfunding. He just made a movie that is known as Pesarattu. Yeah, crowdfunding, and one of the popular crowdfunding websites are Impact Guru. Impact Guru is a crowdfunding website, one of the most popular websites, where if at all you are having the commercially successful idea, then you can post it, they will verify that, and later on they will ask the people to fund it. So those things. So the person who is receiving that particular financial assistance is known as incubating, and the person who is providing the financial assistance is known as incubator. So here, incubator, who is the supplier? Incubator located within the premises of incubator. That means he will be there at his home. Generally, why this point? Generally, if you take the example of home loan, home loan amount will be dispersed all at once or installments. Installment, just like the funding will also be done in installments. Generally, what they will do is, in Telangana, T-Hub is there. The big complex will be there. In that particular complex, like this, some open spaces will be there. One cabin is there for you, just like your study hours cabins. More or less, that type of cabins will be there. That cabin is your office until you start the commercial production. You are the CEO and you are the office boy. Only you are the employee also. In that particular place, you need to, that place will be provided by Google, say for example. So now you need to do the project, and whatever the requirements they will ask you to do, you need to make it and you need to actually show them. After that, if they thought that it is commercially okay, then they will start the trial production. Once the trial production was successful, they will go to commercial production. Then you will be shifted to the office then, a new office. Then you will be called a startup company later on. So in the initial stage, it is incubating. He will be there within the premises of incubator. And with respect to the trial production, how much amount is exempted, ma? 50 lakhs. In the current year, up to 50 lakhs, there is no need to pay any GST. So for that, any condition is needed to be satisfied. Yes, ma. In the preceding financial year, if at all your turnover is less than or equal to 50 lakhs, it is exempted. In the current year, up to 50. For how much period you can get the exemption? 3 years from the date of entering into agreement. This is a point, ma. Please copy this one. After that, okay, we can continue, man. Okay, government, we will discuss this later on. Government. This was removed. It was not there, removed. This one we need to see later on. This one is also. And this one we will see. What is this one, man? This is exemption to 7(1)(b). Already we discussed it previously, along with supply chapter. What is this 7(1)(b), man? Importation of service with consideration. With respect to that, if the service provider is located outside India, and if recipient is any of these specified 4, definitely it is exempted. There is no need to pay the GST. If the recipient is government, if the recipient is trust, if the recipient is individual for personal use, if the recipient is also located in non-taxable territory. In 4 cases, it is exempted. Already we discussed at this point at that time. So, what is the example for government importation of service? I told you. With respect to Iron Dome technology from Israel, India imports, definitely it is importation of service that was done by the government and it is exempted. Yes, ma'am? Fine. And what is the example for trust we discussed there? Basavtarkam Cancer Hospital. If it avails any foreign doctor services, is it exempted or taxable, ma? Exempted. And what is the example we discussed for individual for personal use? Mukesh Ambani, Antilla House, we discussed that one. It is for personal use, therefore it is exempted. And what about person located in non-taxable territory, ma? Very good. Special economic zones. Why special economic zones are created? For the balanced growth and backward areas development. What is the speciality that is there to special economic zone? We discussed. Once an area has been notified as says, it will be treated as outside Indian territory for all taxation purposes. So we discussed about near Vizag, Duvada is the area, ma. So that was declared as special economic zone. With respect to any items that supplied from Guntur to that special economic zone is there in Duvada, it comes under deemed export. And any item that was purchased from that particular says it is deemed to be import. We discussed that one, na. So that's why any imports that were done by the special economic zone itself from outside India, it is not taxable, ma, because that outside India is that foreign country is outside India and cess is also for a taxation purpose outside India. That's why there will not be any GST. So recollected those things, ma. Can I move further? Okay, fine. Next one will be circus, drama, not movies, ma. Drama, circus, drama, dance shows, circus, drama, dance shows, music shows. What are the things? First one, circus, drama, dance shows, music shows, award functions, and sports events. With respect to them, if the ticket price is less than 500, it is exempted, ma. More than that, full amount will be taxable. With respect to these areas, if the ticket price is less than 500, it is exempted, and more than that, full amount will be taxable. Circus, drama, dance shows, music shows, award functions, sports events. With respect to them, if the ticket price is less than 500, it is exempted. More than that, full amount will be taxable. And with respect to few cases like national park, safaris or something like that, and where our friends are there like zoo and museum, tiger reserves. With respect to them, irrespective of the ticket price, it is exempted. Zoo, museum, national park and tiger reserves. With respect to them, irrespective of the ticket price, they are exempted. Whatever the ticket price that may be, it is exempted. But whereas with respect to previous cases, what is the position? Less than 500 only exempted, more than that full amount will be taxable. And this point, yes, this point is there. So supplier will be therein outside India. On recipient will be Reserve Bank of India, and the service will be foreign exchange management services. It is exempt. Because in India, RBI is the custodian for foreign reserves. Where to invest those foreign reserves? For them, they need some consultancy services. So whosoever provides these consultancy services from outside India to Reserve Bank of India, definitely it is exempted. So any person from outside India providing foreign exchange management services to Reserve Bank of India is exempt. There is no need to pay any GST. Any person from outside India providing foreign exchange management services, definitely it is exempted. There is no need to pay any GST. In the same way, what about this one, ma? Calculator? Hey, swiping machine. What is the technical word? POS, point of sale. So any transactions that was swiped or done through this POS up to 2000, it is exempted. More than that, full amount will be taxable. If you swipe the card, if at all it is less than 2000, it is exempted. And if at all it is more than 2000, it is taxable. That is the exemption. Up to 2000 only it is exempted. More than that, it is always taxable. And with respect to vegetables and fruits, packing, repacking, labeling, relabeling, preconditioning, pre-cooling, waxing, sorting, grading. Previously fumigation is also there, but now fumigation was removed. From this item downwards, it is not exempted. Except fumigation, rest of the things what I told you are exempted. What are the things I told you? Packing, repacking, labeling, relabeling, preconditioning, pre-cooling, waxing, grading, sorting, all these activities are exempted with respect to vegetables and fruits. Okay, ma. And all these points will be there. If it all there, we will write that later on. Yes, ma. Next one will be storage of rice and sugar will be exempted. Storage of rice and sugar will be exempted even though they are non-agriculture produce. Even though they are non-agriculture produce, rice, sugar, jaggery, tea, those four, ma. Storage is exempted even though they are non-agriculture. What are the four items, ma? Jaggery, rice, sugar and tea. These four items are exempted even though they are non-agriculture. And what about this one, ma? Combined studies? Public library services are exempt. There is no need to pay any GST. So public library services are exempt. There is no need to pay any GST. So that's it for today. We'll see the remaining ones in the next class.